In our last session, we took a look at running tests, and here I'm going to run those tests very quickly. You can see that the tests are pending, and now they've all passed. Another really valuable tool that I encourage you to use is a tool that allows you to determine how many lines of code are actually covered by your test. And it takes a bit of configuration to get this working with Visual Studio 2005, but let's run through it very quickly. The first thing that you want to do is to come up here into the solution files and open up the local test settings. Inside of here you'll see that there's data and diagnostics, and here's code coverage, which needs to be checked. You'll see that you actually need to configure which assemblies. In this case I'm going to use a business layer dynamic link library, so I'm going to check that and say yes. I'm going to add the assembly, which is here in the business layer, in my bin, and my debug, and there's my DLL, which I'd like to add, so I click OK. I apply my changes, close the box. So at this point I can now rerun my test, which I'll do now. And it takes a little bit longer when you're doing code coverage, so it's worth mentioning. The next thing we want to do is we want to look at the results, and that can be done by going to Test, Windows, Code Cover Results, and as you can see we can look here into the business layer in general and see that 23% of my lines of code are not covered, so I'll drill down a little bit deeper. I'll look into my applicant class, and I can see that 100% of get first name, get last name is not covered. Okay, but I have done my testing appropriately for my sets. I just haven't exercised my gets. Okay, so this gives you a rough idea of where you're missing the code. Here's 100% missing code, so let's go ahead and just look at this. I'm going to right click on get first name, go to source, and in red you can see that this line of code has not been tested. So I'd encourage everyone to very carefully consider why do you have this code in here? Is the get required if it's never used? And if it is required, why haven't we tested it?